I want to have a conversation about hope and explore what it truly means to never give up. What's up, everyone? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty well myself. For those of you who are new here, my name is Tyler Adolfo, and the last few years of my channel have largely revolved around my mental health journey, although I have had this channel for a little more than 5 years now. But I took the channel in a direction of focusing on mental health content because of a major life altering, consequential event that took place in my life. In particular, it took place during my junior year at university. I had a 6 month long manic episode as a result of bipolar disorder, during which I also experienced psychosis consisting of a far range of various delusions and hallucinations, which impaired my productivity, affected my discernment, robbed me of my insight, and really just sent me on a dangerous spiral in my life. It's something that people around me were easily able to notice and recognize. Fast forward, eventually that manic episode came to an end. But it was not without its consequences. There were many traumas associated with this manic episode. In life, I feel like we all experience trauma of some form or another. It varies massively from person to person, but there are similarities in the traumas we experience as well. We experience loss of loved ones, we experience loss of interest, loss of hobbies, change in scenery, change in environment, moving. There's so many different types of trauma, and in my case, I would say the biggest traumas of my life mostly revolved around my childhood, and specifically, it was the absence of one of my parents and growing up in a single parent household and feeling like I wasn't adequate enough, that I wasn't enough to be loved. I wasn't worthy of the love of two parents. That was a very traumatizing idea to battle in my own mind. And I battled it in my own mind for many years, and I'm in a healthier place now. That's one trauma I experienced. Another trauma is losing my breath. Literally. Like not being able to breathe. I had roughly 5 different hospitalizations growing up as a child, up until through my middle school years of like 6th grade, where I experienced severe asthmatic episodes. I do have asthma, and fortunately, I was able to eventually grow out of it. But the shock and fear of being in that helpless position of laying down in a bed, wondering if this is the end for me. I was so young, and I was cleaving on to life, but a part of me also felt like, everything would be fine if I weren't here as well. And so I started to experience my very first thoughts of suicidal ideation as well, which would come on and off throughout my life. So those are traumas I had as a child, but none compare to my most recent trauma. My most recent life-shattering trauma was that bipolar manic episode. It was the psychosis that I experienced. It was being robbed of my sanity and losing control of my central command center. It was a nightmare. Every single day was terrifying. I thought that Nazi agents had infiltrated my social circles and that they were coming after me because of knowledge that I had. I thought that I was a relative of John F. Kennedy at one point, and that the same people who assassinated him were now out to get me. I thought that the end of the world was around the corner, and that God had chosen me as a chosen one to possess and spread this knowledge. So I had all these delusional beliefs that developed, and they developed rather rapidly over the course of my 6 month long manic episode. And in the aftermath of my manic episode, I had to battle with the thought that, one, this could happen again, but two, holy damn, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe I said this. I can't believe I did that. What has my life come to? I did so many embarrassing things. I had so much fear now, and I had it back then during the mania too, but now it's more a fear of uncertainty and self-doubt, doubt about my own aptitude for succeeding and thriving in this world. Do I have what it takes to become something meaningful in this world? Do I need to even be a part of this world any longer? These are all questions that I grappled with in my mind. And at the center, the overarching theme of these conversations I was having in my mind, these conversations that I was having with these mental demons, is whether I should surrender hope. And that's my message to you today. My message is that you should never surrender hope. And I'm going to corroborate my position with some experiences that I think bolster my argument. So I want you to hear me out. We all experience traumas, we all experience obstacles, but I believe that what truly separates us is how we react to and overcome them, particularly in the face of unrelenting adversity. Now, I experienced a great deal of adversity in the aftermath of my manic episode. I had been kicked out of school, I lost all my confidence. During the depressive episode, I put on nearly 200 pounds, going from 180 to 354 in such a short period of time. I started to become amorphous, and I didn't even recognize myself in the mirror anymore. It felt like a part of me had died. And there were so many moments where I felt like this was it. I'm going to be an outcast the rest of my life. I'm going to be socially isolating the rest of my life, because the embarrassment that I felt was so significant. It was so profound, and I could not accept that fact. But a fact it was. And John Adams once said that facts are stubborn things. Well, the fact is, I did lose my mind. The fact is, there were so many moments in the recovery process that I did not want to be here. But I hung on. Hung on long enough to get back into the gym and start to lose some weight. Hung on long enough to get back into the workforce, and I worked as a shift manager for approximately 7 months. I hung on long enough to get to a point where I can now return to college. I transferred to a new university. I was accepted to the institution that I applied to, and so I'll be starting there this fall. So for the first time since fall 2021, here, this fall 2025, Tyler Adolfo will be attending a university. I never thought I would be saying that just a year ago. My mind was in a totally different place from where it is now. I thought that I had discovered my niche in college and that it was permanent. But ephemeral it was. It was so incredibly short-lasting. And even though I lost everything, I've been able to establish a new niche. Does it look the same as the one I had before? No. Does it in any way resemble the one I have before? Not really. But the important thing is that I got back on the trail of life. For a while I was injured, and so I had to sit on the sidelines. I had to sit on the bench nearby at the park and recover, and in the same way you would when you break a bone, you break it away. You take whatever time you need to heal so that you can be at your full potential when you do return. And that's what I did with my bipolar disorder manic episode with psychosis, is I viewed it as a brain injury. And even when my thoughts were so irrational, I still had this one rational thought in my mind that this is an injury and I need to recover from it. With however long it's going to take, so be it. And boy, did I take my time. because I'm now returning to college in fall 2025. But the important thing is that I'm doing it. The important thing is that I did turn my life around. I got my life back on track, and my future is not going to look exactly like my past did. And the thing is, that's okay. And the thing is, it's okay to not be okay at times. But do not ever, ever surrender hope. I'm not going to be someone who says things will change. Will they? All the time? But I can say this. Things can change. They changed for me, and they can change for you. Remember what William Jennings Bryan once said, destiny is not a matter of chance. Destiny is a matter of choice. Thanks for watching, yo. Like, comment, subscribe.